Thank you so much, Siddharth and Nandeep and Pune Tech entire team to giving me opportunity to um, uh, give means my expertise on modern context protocol. So basically, I am AI ML engineer at Accenture and create a AI. Before GPT, we are creating a chatbot and voice bot solution, but after Chat GPT, we are proficiency in RAG base and use AI agent and how we can create multi AI system and leverage this AI and create a AI based solution. So yeah, so what is the agenda of today's session? So first will we understand the what is the MCP and why we need MCP, because what are because before the MCP problem was solved, but what problem MCP will solve? What is the different if we don't want to use MCP, which functionality we need to use, and deep dive about MCP ecosystem and how we can leverage. Like here there are so many MCP available. Like I want to talk with Azure or Azure ADO bot. So how you can I can use their existing MCP server and create my AI application, and how we can integrate existing MCP server to Cloud Desktop and VS Code, and we take some demo of Playwright MCP server. And means this is a buzzword, and we can say there are so many security compliance in coming to picture, and also Microsoft is um, organize this session. So yeah, we are where you can learn these things, and so learning resources. So basically these LLM, we can say Chat GPT or anything else, they work well in if we give a right context. Like if I am in if we say my work, like they don't know about if I say okay, what should I need if I might open my work laptop, and what should I do next, give me my entire data, so they don't know about anything. If I say okay, I want to write a cover letter for this particular job, so they didn't have my data, they didn't have my personal CV, they didn't have my personal document, so they didn't give. But if and also they don't know about my persona, means how I write and anything else. So model are only good if we provide the right context. So in if we say about model, if we model is a nothing but large language model, context is a how we can feed the particular in our personal information, so it will perform a very well. And uh, P stand for protocol. Protocol means rules and regulation and ethics, how our society works. So yeah. So um, if we talk about our previous architecture, so if we here if user asks, we use any we can say copilot, not copilot, but if we ask this thing into LLM, what is my query, or means I want to push my code into GitHub. Can LLM can do this thing? No, LLM can't have my GitHub access. So basically, if we revise what are the previous architecture we have, so first one is a RAG base. RAG is a nothing but retrieval augmented generation. And why we introduce RAG? Because this LLM didn't have a enterprise data, they didn't have a real-time data, and LLM can't perform any action. So this limitation introduce a AI agent came into picture, and whole industry shifted to how we create leverage this thing and create a multiple AI agent. So another one is how we can use function calling capability and call client API or any third party API. Like I want to I have a one private server, and I want to if I say one example of I want to if I go my chat GPT and okay, give go to my Jira or go to my Azure DevOps board and give me whatever task available in my ADO board. So please list out in this thing. So it can't do this thing, but using AI agent and MCP protocol, we can achieve this thing. So yeah, so previously we do function calling, write a glue code for this particular use case, write a glue code in any language, Python, Java, or Node.js or C Sharp. But yeah, as of now, previously we develop in the after MCP introduced, we people are create a MCP server, and we can use this MCP server and create a next level solution. Um, yeah, let me. Is my okay, maybe okay, yeah. So yeah, means is my screen is visible, right? Hello, hello.
Yes, yes, you can
Okay,
see.
okay, yeah. So basically, before this LLM, if we want to give some access, right, my enterprise data, my real-time data, or any other unstructured documents. So using this architecture, previously we develop a AI application. Yeah, let no, it's not working. Yeah. So basically, if we take about example of a um, database. So we have a Postgres database, MySQL database. So we use some tool like LangChain library, AutoGen libraries, semantic kernel library. Using this library, we can create some hardcore tool and try to solve a particular business problem. Like if we want to our if we take example of HR domain, so my data in PostgreSQL, and if I want to talk, okay, give me list down of employee where they contain higher salary or XYZ. So using the eh, previously we use this tool and leveraging this tool and provide a solution. If I go deep dive into this database, and if I want to do similarity search on this database, so if I take example of PostgreSQL, so there is a one pg vector extension. So this is a nothing but we can do similarity search on vector database and provide a solution. And another one I talking about means API calling. Write a Python code to call particular API and solve our business problem. And previously we use a rag based solution, or another I can take example as a graph rag, or yeah. So this is a one, this is a traditional architecture of traditional not a traditional architecture, but before chat MC, if we don't want to use MCP server or try to over solve our business problem. So yeah, this is a tool based LLM architecture, but this problem is solved by MCP, we can say. Like I can use if I, yeah, if I say means I want to access Google Drive, if I say I have a one MySQL or Postgre database, or I want to fetch GitHub, I want to fetch my enterprise code from GitHub. So how can I use this existing MCP server and everything I have in my particular dashboard? So there is a one um, this there is a one we can say MCP host. So here in MCP host, we can use cloud desktop, VS Code, Cursor, Winstop, client, or Spin AI. These are nothing but MCP client. So MCP client using MCP protocol, it will interact with MCP server and try to fetch data from particular data source or particular database or particular web API. So yeah, this is a nothing but MCP. And yeah, this is all working on, we can say, JSON remote processing called 2.0. So whatever communication happen between client and server architecture, it will happen in JSON. And why we need JSON? Because we need a two-way communication. Like if I ask give me give me a list of issue of my GitHub repository. So first they using authentication, they will, okay, I am a right person to fetch data from this particular repository. Okay, yeah, this is a not right person, we need a that access. So based on this, we can say we need a two-way protocol, two-way communication. So that's why MCP use JSON RPC protocol um, to try to solve our business problem. Yeah. Okay, so what are the core feature of MCP we can leverage and provide a solution, or we can reuse a solution. So these are core features. So first one is MCP can read our local file. They can read access of our database. So this is and also if we have some unstructured data in any document like PDF, Word document, or Markdown document. So we can write a simple Python code, simple Python or any language code, and read data from our OS. Um, read data from our a local file. Second one is like if we have some business requirement to give some persona, like I think sim Jatin is asking about. I want to use my like in my organization for statistical analysis or for analytics purpose. I want to use this prompt to do analysis. So I can give some custom prompt. Okay, first do hypothesis testing, do univariate analysis on first column, do bivariance analysis on second column, plot a confusion matrix, plot a heat graph, and using this way we can get more control over our data. So this is nothing but we can predefined prompt template and try to create a MCP server. Yeah, tool is nothing but previously we use a function calling. If we have a client API and we need to invoke this, we need to call this API. So using tool, we can leverage this functionality, create means whatever communication happen in JSON RPC, and using we can use callable function and create a action. Like if I take if I want give a same example, give me a my issue available in particular GitHub repository. So using GitHub tool, I can leverage this functionality and create a solution. And for last but not least is a sampling. Sampling is nothing but okay. I give more two-way communication answer or more sophisticated workflow. Like okay, first do one thing. Take a data from Jira MCP, create a one report, whatever I done, I solved this particular problem, push this thing code into GitHub repository. So some more complex scenario. So yeah, I can do means MCP have a this sampling capability to also in one single prompt it will take fetch data from Jira or Azure Azure Dev or the Azure ADO board and push this thing into particular GitHub repository. So using sampling, we can achieve these things. Yeah. So this is means nothing but entire crux in visual form. MCP client will interact with MCP server, and they have access of tools, resources. We can define predefine some promptlet and try to reuse our code and use LLM. Yeah. Okay. So we can say what is the inbuilt architecture of MCP server. So this is a nothing but architecture of MCP server. Here we can see MCP host is a nothing but where we end user interact with. Here, if I take one example, like where I need to prompt if we say Chat GPT or Copilot or Claude or Gemini or XYZ. So these are, or if I am a developer, I can use VS Code or Cursor IDE. So these are nothing but MCP host. Yeah. So what is an MCP server? Like GitHub is created. If I go to, after this, I will go to demonstrate one demo. So where GitHub is created their MCP server. If you want to interact with GitHub, run this MCP server and we are good to go. Yeah, means whatever environment variable or token or authentication we need to do, we need to perform that authentication and we will directly interact with uh, GitHub with natural language processing. So this this problem is tried to solve by MCP. And yeah, local means if we do go deep dive into MCP server, so there are two type of MCP server. First one is a local data store. Like before I told, if I want to access my local PC file database, so using local data store, I can communicate with my local system. And also some yeah, I want to interact with GitHub or Jira or ADO board, I can interact with remote services. Okay, yeah. Yeah, so yeah, another problem is what exactly if I take what exactly another thing is solved by MCP. No, it's not working. If Without MCP, if I take one example like it's just give me a minute. Chatbot is working. Yeah. So if I take one example, like if I want to create one chatbot in AI application, if I take example, I create in Copilot Studio. If I want to integrate with calendar API, weather API, CRM, or any knowledge base, so what I need to do, in Copilot Studio, in I think Kunj is so one thing where we can say there is a tool. So we need whatever pre-built tool provided by Microsoft or Copilot Studio, we can leverage this tool and integrate this tool. So this is if I take one example of Copilot Studio. Another one is my host server contain we can say mobile application. Mobile application. This is written by in any Kotlin or any other language. So, yeah, and some other. Yeah, okay, this one is my VS Code. So basically, how means this is a nothing but if I want to integrate VS Code with my calendar API, I need to write a custom code and integrate this thing. I need to write a custom code to integrate weather API, or is there any Dynamics 365 CRM or XYZ system? But if I use MCP, if I create a one MCP protocol, like okay, you want to use MCP like here, if I take about Zapier, or we can say Azure also. So if I use Azure MCP server, okay, I want to create a one cloud resource, or uh, yeah, means also we need to make sure this particular account access this Outlook calendar or not. But yeah, means it will if I ask this question into Copilot Studio, if I ask a question into VS Code, and if I ask this question into mobile app, so basically it will whatever Azure MCP provide means they expose as a MCP server. We can interact with as a developer. We need to use Azure MCP server, and we are good to go. So yeah, this is a main problem try to solve by MCP. Yeah. So basically, what is a MCP is not? Basically, MCP is not a replacement of a standard API. I- It will consume our API. If I take one example, uh, if I want to, let me take example of Copilot Studio. If I want to create one agent, so I can, if someone create a Copilot MCP, so I need to write just a prompt, create a one Copilot agent name as a HR domain, and it will trigger a particular endpoint, create agent endpoint and whatever result we receive by Microsoft server create agent endpoint, and it will give as a answer. But oh yeah, also means we need to take care is this particular access, how we need to authorize this particular MCP server and this thing. But yeah, using just a single line of prompt we can achieve this thing. But this is not a replacement of a standard API, but it will consume whatever existing endpoint available in particular Azure or XYZ. Yeah, so basically, if I say before, if we build before MCP, we create a AI solution and we use function calling. We can say here I have a GitHub server and I have a some Python backend or Node.js server. So basically, I write use some OpenAI or any other model and write a code. Okay, write a Python function to call. Okay, if user ask anything about this particular thing, call write a simple Python code to create a issue or get issue, means list down all issue in available particular repository. But if GitHub is provided there, yeah, means if I want to get issue from GitHub, so if I say if github.com/API slash get issue, I need to trigger that particular code. But if GitHub is exposes their MCP server, I need to just um, run the MCP server, and I can easily create a issue, whatever endpoint declared by GitHub, I can easily interact with. So this is not a function calling, but also here we need to write our business logic also. Okay, if I want to create a issue, trigger this particular point. If I want to what are the PR available in my GitHub repository, do list down this based on priority, list down the in my particular dashboard. So basically it's a not of just a function calling, but it will understand the business context, which API we need to call and how they need to call. So yeah. Okay, so basically this is all about how we can use existing server and leverage this MCP functionality. But okay, means I want to create my MCP server. I need more control. Okay, I have a one service. I want to expose my service as a API. So how you can leverage MCP and create your MCP server? Basically, we can say MCP server is a nothing but there is a one framework in Python, fast MCP. Using this Python framework, we can easily create a MCP server. Not only but Python, but Node.js, Java, Kotlin, C Sharp, we can create a MCP server. So basically, if we go deep dive into code, yeah, just import typing. We need to here we need to call. We need to use we need to create MCP server to if I ask any question to about my weather or my city. So it will code this particular API and it will get an answer. So that's why I want to call particular external server. So that's why I need to use HTTPX server, and from import server MCP I use fast MCP and initialize the fast MCP object and whatever environment variable I have like weather API or, and for particular JSON request I need to give this as a header. So that's why I give this thing. And now MCP server, and MCP server is a nothing but just a protocol how we communicate which what a protocol means in bit but overall we need to write a Python function means as per our business need. So what is our business need? So here our business need make a NWS request. So basically this Python will code this as a header, use this asynchronous function and call this yeah, send get request and particular URL. And what is the URL? Okay, and we define this URL in previous code. This is nothing but a URL. So in this way also here yeah, when we create a Python server, this is the main thing to write a uh, follow the proper coding standard and write a doc string. So here what is the doc string? Make a request to NWS API with proper error handling. So basically in another Python function we need to write a doc string. So as per doc string LLM we decide which function which tool we need to call. So yeah, so this is a nothing but how we write a Python, how we create our own MCP server. Oh, and these are two protocol to run our MCP server. First one is a STDIO. Like if I want to access my file system, so I can use run this as a STDIO, standard input IO. And if I want to consume other people or remote MCP, so I will use a server side event to communicate with my client and server. Okay, means uh, also we need to think which layer we are or working. Like if I take one example of how you can leverage MCP things and create your office application, do your office work, and which layer you are. Like if I talking about if I want to create one website, its name is Workwise AI agent. So it will do my whatever I need to do as my job responsibility, and it will create a copilot for that. And okay, means I have a roles and responsibility from I'm working on client project and they use Jira or Asana or Monday.com to save my user story and XYZ. So how you can create integrate this thing and provide customized solution, or yeah, customized solution. So if hypothetically I give name as work wise, and which layer we are working. So if we are as per I think before my session, there are two speakers, they mentioned about auto gen and semantic kernel. So if we are developer and creator this type of application, so auto gen easily integrate with MCP. We can use whatever the predefined MCP available in market. And like if I want to access of GitHub or Playwright or Azure or Microsoft 365 toolkit, or is there any Asana or Monday.com or XYZ MCP server, I can write a Python code and create my work-wise application. Okay, so this is a nothing but we are developer layer. You want to do some customization and do this thing. Another one is a user layer. So user layer is nothing but I am a tester or I am XYZ person. So how can I use a predefined MCP server? Like if I take about, if a tester then they need to test some particular website, so they just use a Playwright MCP server in VS Code, and whatever their roles and responsibility have, they just call their roles responsibility and done entire work. If I talking about low code, no code solution in Copilot Studio, this is a under beta version. But if we deep dive into tools, so in tools we have a option to integrate existing MCP server. So we can integrate existing MCP server, and in previously in previous session is how we can leverage improve our productivity using Copilot Studio. So if we have some other customized requirement, like I want to connect with Hugging Face or any other things, or so using MCP we can achieve this thing. So yeah. Okay, so let me take about some useful resources where you can use this mm, discard. Okay. So Microsoft, basically another point is, when we try to use MCP also we need to consider, is this MCP server or safe or not. So that's why use uh, only those MCP server where you can trust your data. So this is a repository uh, official repository provided by Microsoft, where they release their um, uh, MCP server, where if you want to learn like Microsoft official documentation, how you can, yeah, 10 MCP server to accelerate your development workflow. If I want to learn whatever I learn from very valid resources, so use my Microsoft Learn MCP server. They will externally they will call this particular API and try to solve our business problem. So Microsoft Learn, and want to interact with Azure or connect Postgre database, MongoDB, Cosmos database integration. So this is nothing but Azure MCP server. I want to interact with GitHub, my whatever roles and responsibility I have as a developer, or if I want to create a GitHub action, create a issue, or solve a PR or anything, I can leverage this existing GitHub MCP server. Another one is, as I mentioned, Azure ADO board. Use this thing as a tool. Mark it down, SQL, and as a tester, we need a like Playwright MCP server. So we can leverage this existing MCP server and write our entire report, dev board and Azure Foundry and MCP toolkit. So these are some other platform where we can find existing MCP server valid by Microsoft. But if you are leverage other people MCP server, so this is a very good resource to where you can find other people MCP server. Like some are the popular. Yeah, this is a one very popular MC context 7.1, means where we are as a we are developer, where we try, is there any difficulty for code dependency, or we whatever LLM generate, these are they are generated very old code, or mm, they, so if we want to whatever official take a reference from official documentation, we can use this existing MCP server and leverage this thing. In total this repository we can find approximately 5000 MCP server. So based on business need, you can leverage this existing MCP server and try to solve a particular business problem. Yeah, but yeah, also make sure who are the owner of this MCP server, and we need to consideration which is these are valid or not, or they are follow our enterprise security or not. So yeah, this is a very good resources to uh, um, uh, um, where we can find MCP server. Okay, so let's Microsoft, yeah, and this is a also means MCP is a very new technology. So basically, also people are trying with remote MCP where no need to run anything in your MCP client. Just integrate this thing as a remote MCP and we are good to go. So these feature are in beta, but like if I take one example of Claude, so here if we see in Claude code, I wa okay, yeah, this is a if I see include code, so there are so many MCP server. Like I want to connect with Google Search, Calendar. Also not in just one, but Zero the MCP, Zapier automation. If I want to create one image in, I want to create a PPT for this Microsoft event. Can you do this thing? So yeah, they will create an entire PPT and put. They will provide one Canva link, so you can go to Canva, refine this result, and you can integrate this thing. And if you want to find some fetch data from Reddit or you or and in this particular use case, or you need to follow some SARC framework or CSS or anything else, so you can achieve this thing using remote MCP. So this thing is in beta, but yeah, in future in upcoming days we are see this thing as a product. So another one, okay, so just today I try with MCP server how you can leverage MCP server and try to solve our try to do some testing work. So I don't have some business knowledge about tester, but I write as a simple noob player. Create a playwright report. Okay, so before start playwright is a one Python from not a Python framework, but framework to use as a I want to test one particular website. So playwright used for testing purpose. So I give a very simple prompt and okay, how to integrate this thing in our VS Code. So basically, when we try to open this VS Code, here we have some built-in mode, agent mode, ask mode, edit mode. So we need to click on edit mode and select any LLM which your favorite LLM, and we need to click on this particular we this configuration tool. So here we have a lots of built-in tool available in this MCP server, and I already integrated this thing. But if you want to integrate another MCP server, how you can do this? Here we have a one option to add more tool, add MCP server, and how you want to communicate with MCP server. So um, where is the option? Yeah, how you want to communicate with MCP server? Like before we talk, there a remote MCP is there. You run MCP in your local. You create MCP. You want to test it. So and also you can run MCP server as a Docker image, or if you want to browse some MCP server. So yeah, these are one extension to browse this thing. So as per this, you need to run the command and yeah, this is a Microsoft MCP inspector. If you create a MCP in VS Code, so this is a good tool to debug your code. Yeah, so basically, okay, so let me give my I give this thing as a just one prompt. So basically, they will read this thing, use MCP Playwright, this Playwright MCP server, and they will uh, do everything for me, and let's see the result. Mm. Okay. If we previously use MCP server, so this is a before LLM. Before, if we don't talk about LLM, previously we write a report in this way, like write a test cases or in Python or Node.js in any language and do some testing. Like, okay, so I want to use Microsoft Learn website and test 5 button. So is this working fine in particular Chromium browser, particular mobile phone, or particular Android phone? So people write some Python test write code to do this. So basically, LLM is okay. This is a URL where we can find these things. So they will do everything for me. First, they will create a um, test cases. They will test it. This MCP play using MCP, or okay, means we can debate this thing. Okay, LLM is also generating the code. How you can say MCP is good? Then it will execute the code also. So playwright MCP will execute the code and create a report if you give prompt and like a such a way. The yeah, means we can say it will take a action behalf of you. So yeah, so this is means what MCP server try to do, open the particular website and try to select this particular HTML code and test the entire thing. Okay, so okay, this is a good one. You create a good one, but client needs some their extra some more extra information. And okay, these are business guys, they don't know about other things. So how you can solve this thing into MCP? So basically, if we give prompt in this way, okay, play create a nice HTML report where we can mention important KPI and create a one story. So yeah, I try to, I think it's 11:19. Just before the session, I try to this thing also, and you can see the result. There, okay, first try for just 5 button. So browse your course link. Okay, go to this link. So basically, they try to, I give a very general prompt. Try to go each and every website and select is it working or not. So that's why it's failed. But here you can see the overall point, means we can automate entire we can as a domain expert, I need to have a if I have a domain knowledge and if I use this existing MCP tool, and we are my job is done. So yeah, means also I try another thing. Okay, Microsoft, okay, here you can see means LLM generate a very good code before 2 hour. I try this thing as a 941 when is a report created. Okay, this 5 thing is already tested. And okay, if we have some custom requirement, create UI like this. So LLM and using MCP, we can achieve this thing. So yeah, also another third point is okay. Yeah, I think that's it for MCP. Another thing, another report. Yeah. So that's it for my side. Anything and yeah, another point is this MCP is a very new technology. All the people are working on it. And if you want to learn this from Microsoft leader, there is a Microsoft Dev Day is happening on 29 July and 30 July, so you can participate this official Microsoft developer advocate session. And yeah, so that's it for yeah. And this is if you want to contact me or doubt anything about this thing, so this is my contact number. Yeah, thank you. Any question about
Thank you very much. Yes, it was a great session. And MCP being very new, it's like something which would go a long way, I would say, because it's a protocol which is similar to REST. So the we everyone know, right? REST API is like everywhere. There are billions of calls which are happening using REST API. So MCP is going to be the next big thing. And
uh,
thank you very much, yes, for the great session. I don't see any question as of now, but if anyone is do let us know. We can take. We have still 4 minutes.
yeah, yeah, thank you. Okay, means before okay, I will share one another I think Kunj is talking about means if we want to create our own EDA EDA MCP. So I created 2 months ago. So where I use means write a good prompt to do certain exploratory data analysis. So basically, based on business requirement, we can like do variance analysis based on business logic. So just give as a nice prompt, read data from local and do analysis. So yeah, that's it.
Thank you. Yes, thank you very much. Okay. If no further question, then let us move to the next session, which is from our dear friend Shrusti. And she's going to take empowered support teams, automated email analysis, ticketing, and resolution with generative AI. And this is actually real world scenario. So I would like to thank Susti for being part of the session, and I hope she's around and she can take the floor.
Hello, Kunj.
Thank you.
Good afternoon. Thank you so much. Hello, everyone, for staying